How's everybody doing? Welcome to the fish room. Today just gonna be another little fish room update. I got some babies being born. I want to show you some fry I just spotted today. Moving some plecos out of another tank that might be another future pair. So I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more of this. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna do random daily updates in the fish room. So whatever happens, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna really plan videos, but whenever things come up, I'm just gonna shoot stuff like that. So I don't think I'll have to really plan on doing a video on a certain topic. I'm gonna just show you as it happens. And I think we're gonna hit a lot of cool topics on the way. But let me know in the comments below. Stay subscribed, or subscribe if you're not already. You'll get notified, or hit the notification bell so you know when things happen. And let me know what you guys want to see and what you think on me just doing kind of almost daily updates. So if a lot's going on, I'll be posting a lot. If there's not much going on, I may just skip a couple days. But let me know what you guys think below. But let's go ahead. I have some red delta guppies just were born today, so let's take a look at those. So just real quick, kind of this tank as a whole, it is a 20-gallon aquarium running off of a sponge filter. I have my hang-on breeder box growing out some fry. There are a pair of red delta guppies and some long fin and common bristlenose plecos growing out. So let's go ahead and look at the pair. So there's the male. The female is a little bit more yellow in her than I'd like, but the male is super nice reds. So I'm gonna start breeding these guys pair at a time instead of a group tank, so I can get more specific colors over time. But if you look behind them, right above all that kind of mulm on the bottom of the tank, there are some guppy fry. So they're hanging out to the bottom, trying to stay away from the parents. I have very little hiding place in this tank. I just added this little clump of moss when I spotted the babies, because I saw my mom chasing some. But if it'll focus past the plecos, you can see there's probably a good 20 fry in this tank. And they're very young. I mean, this is the first day I spotted them. I know for sure they were not in here yesterday. So these are very young guppy fry. And most of them are hanging out right above that cloud of mulm, because they kind of almost dart in there and under this driftwood if they need to. Up here is a older batch of fry. That was from the previous breeding group. They were so small at the time, I was just catching them out as I could and as they were growing, and they've been growing a lot in this little breeder box, and that way I don't have to catch them out with this pair. Less distractions. And little side note, growing fry are much more likely to eat the babies than the parents, because they're very hungry and they're growing. So once those guys hit a certain size, if these were in the tank, sometimes they'll eat those babies more than the parents would, because they're growing, they have a bigger appetite, and their mouths, once they're large enough, they'll grab those fry. But that's kind of a cool pair right there. Excited to see if those babies turn out like the male and female, and then I can start more selectively breeding, kind of one batch of babies at a time, instead of letting them colony breed, where they're breeding with multiple males, and it's hard to really selectively breed which pair you want. But also, let's take a look at another tank that's something that's new going on, but there's a few things going on today. Here's one of my ram breeding colonies. I'm waiting to do some water changes tonight, but before I did them, I wanted to catch some of these plecos out. There's one of the male rams, and the flower pots are all moved around. They're ready for a water change, but let's look at the fish I caught out of there. So here I had 3 plecos in the tank. One was a standard albino. It was kind of a pleco breeding holding tank. I don't know how to say that. It was a bunch of potential breeders I wanted to keep and not sell, but I wasn't trying to breed them just yet, because I had almost too many to put together. I wanted to pick a certain pair. So I've pulled pairs from that tank, but now I want to just get them out of there so they're not eating the ram eggs right away. If they do breeding there, I don't catch it. But this is a nice pair of long fins. So here we have the male up front. He has almost little tips of color in his fin, like a little bit of a white. Very mature male. I mean, they're definitely ready breeding size. And here's the female, a little bit darker in color. Obviously they're going to the bathroom, and I scooped up a little bit of waste in the net when I caught them out. But it's kind of cool when they're in this container, you can get a better look of them and kind of see them swimming around, because they're kind of trying to settle into a corner. So they kind of flutter their fins a lot more, It's kind of cool to see those guys. But those will be moving out of that ram tank. You can see the female, she's got a nice little belly on her. Probably some eggs, and once they get a breeding cave, those guys will claim territory and breed in no time, as long as they're getting the right food. And I feed them just those pleco wafers or algae wafers by Aquatic Foods. I purchased those on Amazon.com. I'll post them in the link. I have them in my links in other videos. But they're going to be going up here because I don't like them with any egg layers. But I have some, if we can spot them, some purple deltas in here. They're breeding, but the plecos and guppies do very well together. I've said that before. They're going to go up in that tank. Ideally, I don't want to put them in like a roof tank because they're harder to see. But I just need to move them there. I may not even give them a breeding cave just yet because I have a lot of pairs breeding. I'll show you a pair of a very similar coloration. It's actually the same as siblings to these. I have 2 long fins in here that have already bred, and if we look at some of the babies, they're throwing some calicos, which is really cool. So they're throwing albinos, calicos, commons, and I've been looking for long fins, but ironically I don't know if they're throwing long fins, even though the male and female are common long fins. So I'm thinking there'll be some in here. They're still a little bit small, but typically you can tell almost right away if the fish is going to be a long fin or not. Definitely within the next 3 weeks or so I'll be able to tell. And a few of them have longer fins than a standard, but definitely not a long fin. But that's kind of a similar pair to what I have in that container. And they're going to go in that top tank kind of just as a holding for now. And they'll be with purple deltas just like this. They're a little bit younger. But I don't want to kind of get overrun with baby plecos. I want to time it up and space them out so I'm growing them at different rates. So they're going to go up there as a holding tank and let them get used to each other more so. Make sure they're not eating any of my rams' eggs that they lay. And then whenever the time comes that I need them to breed, I'm going to add a cave similar to this with the flower pot with a hole, or a pleco cave, and I'll let them breed in there. And look, these guys got some baby guppies as well. That's a newborn fry up front. If we can focus in on it, they're hiding in this floating plant mat. So those are brand new too. I actually didn't even know those were in here. So those are probably a day or 2 old. So they're hiding out, and they probably had more babies than what's left. But that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. But there's still a good handful of fry in there, and those are definitely just born as of today or yesterday, because I didn't even notice them yesterday. So it can't be more than a day or 2, judging off their size. But that's cool too. Kind of see things whenever you're going day by day in the fish room. You always spot some new stuff, but I'll show you what else is going on. Last thing of the day, I have these project mixed guppies. I'm not really sure how to say that, but these are the guppies that are growing out from the purple delta male bred with a group of fancy females. So these are all in here, and I can start to tell males from females. What I've been wanting to do, and I've done in the past, but I kind of got away from it, and now I don't have the space. I'm gonna catch all the females out of here, put them into my female tank, and this will become my new male tank. So all the male guppies in here will stay. All the females are gonna go, I'll show you over here, into this aquarium, the 29. It already has some females. Some are older, some are younger, but I'm not trying to mix the sizes or sort the sizes just yet. I just want to get males and females. So the females will go over there, the males will stay in there, and I have a few other tanks that have a handful of males and females I want to separate by sex, and the males will go into that tank as well. So that's kind of it for today. This tank's turned into a female guppy only tank, which it already is, but I'm adding to it. This tank down here is going to get all the females removed, and we're just going to keep our males in here, and we're going to also add to it with more males. We got those red deltas breeding down here. Finally spotting some fry, but waiting for those guys to show up. And that's always really cool. That was the main thing I was looking for today. And then this pleco pair will be going up in this top tank just for holding and to keep them away from these germ blue rams. And this is the tank next to them, another breeding tank. I think these guys are going to be laying eggs any day now. That male and this female up front. They've been guarding that cave, and you can see he's chasing her away. And that's his female right there, so she'll go back. One of those two, maybe this one here. But he'll scare away the other females, and he only allows that one female near him. But those will probably breed here shortly. But let's wrap this up for the day. Let me know if you want more stuff like this, just what's going on. And I'm going to release these plecos into their tank, and we'll call it a day.